shouldn't have said that. I couldn't, I about dropped the phone. I mean, I'm gonna try to figure out something different. I'm like, you wouldn't wanna do it now?
No pressure. Keep looking at the clock, and we still have 8 minutes to go, but I'm late. So anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022 Clay County Planning and Zoning meeting. A few house rules, please. Tonight we will hear 7 cases. We will begin with a report from the Planning and Zoning staff that will summarize each case prior to any discussion the board members may have. We will then ask the applicant to step up to the podium to ask or answer any questions and present support of their application. We ask the applicant to begin by stating their name and address for the record, as these meetings are recorded. We will then ask the public for any public participation that may support the case being heard, and then anyone that may oppose the case being heard. Again, asking any participant to begin by stating their name and address. And please remember the topic of discussion needs to remain pertinent to the case being heard. The purpose of the Planning and Zoning Board are to hear the cases and make recommendations to the Clay County Commission. The cases heard this evening will be reviewed and decided by the County Commission on May 18th at 3 p.m. in this room. Could we begin tonight with a roll call of attendance?
Yes, Chairman. Terry Griffin.
Present.
David Rodas.
Present.
Chris Higgins.
Present.
Brad Scarlett. Marvin Davis.
Present.
And Chairman Tom Decker.
Present. And could we have a motion to approve the minutes of our April 5th meeting as presented?
I'll move to approve.
Very well. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, a roll call vote.
Marvin Davis.
Approve.
David Rodas.
Approve.
Terry Griffin.
Approve.
Chris Higgins.
Approved.
Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve.
Motion carries.
Very well. The first case we will hear tonight is case number May 22-124 RZ/F. And could we have a staff report, please?
Yes, Chairman. We'd like to add the staff report as part of the official record.
So be it.
So this is Johnson & Johnson Estates. As it is currently, it is Lot 1 and 2 of Middleton Acres, which is off of WHB Road. Middleton Acres was platted in 2021. It's currently zoned R5, or each lot is zoned R5, because each of the lots are between 5 and less than 10 acres, and that's our current standard for that lot size. The proposal is to actually combine 2 lots. So we're going to take 2 lots, create 1 lot, because the applicant wants to build their house right on that center property line. So we would rezone this property to R1, which is our current standard for lots between 10 and less than 20 acres. It would still include an agricultural land preservation. The Northwest Electric and the standard oil easements would remain, and that 15-foot utility easement that runs down the center of the lot will be vacated along with this platting, and Shane will talk about that in the following case. The comp plan tells us that this is in the urban services tier. The natural resources tier is just a couple hundred feet to the north. It's not within a mile of any city limits. And the intent of the urban services tier is to promote urban development compatible with the adjacent cities. This is the surrounding area. You can see the parcel outlined in yellow. A lot of large lots, 92 highways to the north, and then there are some smaller subdivision-style lots to the east. We talk about these 5 rezoning criteria each month. I'm not going to go through each one individually. Staff believes the rezoning criteria have been addressed or met. This case was published in the Courier Tribune. We sent 10 certified letters. We posted a rezoning sign, and this follows our standard process, which is Planning and Zoning Commission makes recommendation to County Commission. County Commission will hear this case on the 18th and vote the following week, most likely on the 25th, to approve or deny. And then if approved, we work on the recording copies of the plat, and once the plat is recorded, the subdivision is complete. The Clay County Highway Department has indicated that there is a driveway permit for each lot. This case is a little bit unique because it was just approved in 2021, and we're combining lots. So we did not have the applicant go back to each agency because we're not creating additional lots. Planning and zoning staff's recommendation is approval with 2 conditions. First condition is that the resolution for the vacation be recorded with the plat, and then we're going to take a note off the recording copy of the plat. This is one of the easier cases we do because it's putting land back together. Staff would be happy to answer any questions that the commissioners may have, and the applicants are present as well.
All right, thank you, Kip. So we're doing the rezoning and the final plat all in one motion?
We will take separate votes.
Okay.
Rezoning without conditions, final
Okay.
plat with conditions.
Very well, very well. Do any of the board members have questions for staff? Would the applicant please step up to the podium, state your name and address?
Brett Johnson from St. Joseph, Missouri.
All right. Thank you, Brett. Do you have anything to add to support your application? And do you understand the staff's report?
Yep, understand the staff report, and we agree that with the Planning and Zoning Commission that it should be approved. We are simply taking 2 residential lots that are rated for a smaller amount of acreage and trying to consolidate it into a larger lot to put our house in the middle of it.
All right, very good. Do any of the board members have questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment on the case being heard that supports the application? Being none, is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that opposes the application being heard? With no further discussion, I would call for a motion for the approval of the rezoning of Johnson & Johnson Estates.
I'll make a motion. To approve.
Oh, go ahead.
Good
Very well, do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Yeah, roll call vote.
Marvin Davis.
Approve.
Chris Higgins.
Approved.
Terry Griffin.
Approve.
David Rotis.
Approved.
Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve.
Motion carries.
So then we'll roll right into the approval, or motion for approval for the final plat with the conditions attached.
I'll move to approve with conditions.
I'll second it. Conditions attached in Exhibit A. Could we have a roll call vote?
Marvin Davis.
Approve with conditions.
Chris Higgins.
Approve with conditions.
Terry Griffin.
Approve with conditions.
David Rotis.
Approve with conditions.
Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve with conditions.
Motion carries.
The next case we'll hear this evening is case number May 22-125V. And could we have a staff report, please?
Chairman, I would like to add this staff report to the official record.
So be it.
All right, so this goes with the previous staff report we just had. This deals with the vacation that, or excuse me, the easement that goes through what, as it stands right now, Middleton Acres Lot 1 and 2. This is to vacate that current easement, so it would allow for the applicants to build their house where they want to. So for the approval criteria, we have, well, I'll just read it line by line on this one, but due and legal notice has been provided as required by the section. We posted this in 5 different public offices, along with publishing it in the Courier Tribune. Next one is no private rights will be injured or endangered by the vacation. As staff, we don't believe this to be an issue. The public will suffer no loss or inconvenience from the vacation. And injustice to the applicant, the vacation should be approved. Again, we notified utility providers with a letter dated April 7th of 2022. Adjacent property owners within 1,000 feet were notified by a letter dated April 15th. We sent out notices on April 7th. We heard back from the Public Water Supply District number 9. They responded with no objections, along with Evergy and PCEC, or Platte Clay Electric, also had no objections to this. The applicants are here, currently present, and staff would be happy to answer any questions commissioners may have.
All right, very well, thank you, Shane. Do any of the board members have questions for staff?
I'm assuming it's been verified that there is not any type of gas line running through this easement currently?
That is correct.
Okay.
And with the platting of this property, I should have stated with the previous case, there are utility easements around the outside of the new lot.
Is there any other questions from the board for staff? Would the applicant please step up to the podium, state your name and address?
Brett Johnson, St. Joseph, Missouri.
All right. Brett, do you have anything that you'd like to add that would support your application?
Nope. We also agree with the commission and their approval of this. In regards to your question regarding the gas line, I've spoken to the neighbor, and he said that there was one on his side of the road across the street. So there is no one, there is no line running up that easement.
Okay.
All right, very well, thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Yep. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that supports the application being heard? None said. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that opposes the application being heard? Well, with no further discussion, I would call for a motion for the approval of the vacated easement on lots 1 and 2 of Middleton Acres with the attachment in Exhibit A attached.
I'll move to approve.
Can I have a second?
Second.
We have roll call vote.
Marvin Davis,
Approve.
Chris Higgins,
Approve with condition.
Terry Griffin,
Approve with condition.
David Rotis,
Approve with conditions.
Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve with conditions.
Motion carries.
The third case we'll hear this evening is May 22-126 RZ/P. And could we have a staff report, please?
Yeah, Chairman, would like to attach a staff report as part of the official record.
So be it.
So this is Bab Acres. So this is how it currently exists. It's unplatted, approximately 67 acres, zoned agricultural, and has one single-family residence on the property currently. The proposed subdivision is for 3 lots. There's a lot off of 69 Highway on the south side of the property that would be 18.4 acres and zoned R1. Lot 1 with the existing house is proposed to be 6.3 acres and zoned R5. And then there's a large 40.2 acre lot that would remain zoned agricultural, that is the northeast side, including the pond and quite a bit of the wooded area as well. Lot 3 would be the only lot with the agricultural land preservation. Anything larger than 20 does not need the ALP, and lot number 1 classifies as a farmstead dwelling, which does not require the ALP as well. There is a blue line stream that runs through the property, that there'll be a 75-foot stream setback from the center line of that stream. The comp plan, this one's a little bit unique because it sits in 2 different tiers. It's in the urban services tier and the natural resources tier. It's also in the highway corridor tier along 69 Highway, and it is within a mile of the city of Excelsior Springs. Case review was sent to the city. No comments were received for this case. The urban services tier allows lots that are 10 plus acres. Natural resources tier allows lots that are 5+ acres. Staff believes this fits well with the neighborhood. There's a mix of 5 to 10 to even larger lots, and this is a mix as well. You can see the surrounding area, some smaller residences, and then still some large acreage as well. City of Excelsior Springs just to the southeast. This has the same rezoning and preliminary plat criteria. Staff believes these have been addressed and or met. This case was published in the Courier Tribune. We sent a total of 25 adjacent property owners letters, posted a sign on site, and it follows that same pattern from Planning and Zoning Commission to County Commission to getting the plat recorded. Outside agency review, the Highway Department requested that silt be removed from the existing culvert for the home. New driveway entrance permits will need to be submitted for any new single-family residences. The Water District has stated they can serve the additional lots. The Lawson Fire District serves this property, and the Health Department has given preliminary and final approval. MoDOT has approved access for Lot 2 and 3 from 69 Highway as well. Planning and Zoning is recommending approval with one condition, which there's just a few changes to the recording copies of the final plat, which one of those is the Northland Vision Trails Plan calls for a recreational easement along 69 Highway. So a 15-foot recreational easement will be placed within that 30-foot utility easement along 69 Highway. With that being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions the commissioners may have, and the applicants are present as well.
All right, thank you, very well, thank you, Kip. Any other board members have questions for staff regarding the case being heard? No questions from the board members. If the applicant would step up to the podium, state your name and address.
Good evening, Brian Babb. My address is Kansas City, Missouri. My brother Robert is here with me as well.
All right. Mr. Babb, do you have anything that you'd like to add that would support your application?
I do not, other than we followed all the guidelines as requested by Planning and Zoning. We understand the conditions that have been brought up for approval, and we accept those conditions.
Okay. All right, do any of the board members have questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that supports the application being heard? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that opposes the application being heard? Nope, with no. I do have a question. If you'd step up to the podium, state your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Lynn Starry.
And what's your address, please, sir?
2941 Northeast 162nd Street.
Yes, sir.
The intent to change it to R1, I'm not familiar with what R1 it really is. So is that a bill to split that lot again?
I'll direct that to our zoning manager, Mr. Jones.
So R1 zoning is our current zoning standard for any lot that's 10 acres and larger up to 20 acres. So anything less than 20 cannot keep its ag zoning. An R1 zone lot is allowed one single-family home per lot. The one exception to that is what's called an accessory dwelling unit. So on this 18-acre lot, somebody could build one house and one accessory dwelling unit. I would have to look at the road frontage and see if it has 600 feet of road frontage, then it possibly could be split again. And let me, if you give me a second, I can look at that.
About 514
Is it 514?
along 69 Highway, yeah.
Okay, then the only way it could be subdivided again is if it was approved for a variance, which is an exception to the rules. So we can never say something couldn't be subdivided again, but this one would be difficult to subdivide.
Okay. My concern is just that the property is going to get split into smaller lots, city-type lots, and I'm not for that.
Well, I would say that's not what this application is. If that would be proposed, and it's still unincorporated Clay County, then we would be required to send notices and put it in the newspaper again. With it being so close to city limits, I suppose it could be annexed in and it could go through their process, but that's not what this proposal is for.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. With no, with no additional discussion, I would call for a motion to approve or deny the rezoning of Bab Acres.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a roll call vote.
Chris Higgins,
Approved.
Marvin Davis,
Approve.
Terry Griffin,
Approve.
David Rotis,
Approve.
and Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve.
Motion carries.
I'd like to roll right into a motion to either approve or deny the preliminary plat of Bab Acres with the conditions attached as set out in Exhibit A.
I'm making a motion to approve with conditions.
Very well, do you have a second?
I'll second.
We have a roll call vote.
Chris Higgins,
Approve with conditions.
Marvin Davis,
Approve with conditions.
Terry Griffin,
Approve with conditions.
David Rotis,
Approve with conditions.
Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve with conditions.
Motion carries.
The next case we'll hear this evening is case number May 22-127F. And could we have a staff report, please?
Chairman, I'd like to add the staff report to the official record.
So be it.
So this is the final plat of Bab Acres. We obviously just went through the rezoning and preliminary. The big things I want to hit on this one is staff believes that the final plat is compliant with the approved preliminary plat. This request also meets section 151-3.6D of the 2011 Land Development Code, which deals with the applications and what all is required for this. Our recommendation is approval with the one condition that deals with the changes to the recording copy of the plat.
Kind of having a hard time hearing you, Shane. If you could speak up, please.
Sure. Which part do you need me to repeat? Sorry about that.
I think if you just can carry on, it'd be good.
Sure. The applicant is present and staff is here to answer any questions the commissioners might have.
All right, thank you, Shane. Any of the board members have questions for staff regarding the case? Would the applicant please step up to the podium and state your name and address?
Brian Babb, Kansas City, Missouri.
And Mr. Bepp, do you have anything that you would like to add that supports your application?
Nothing incremental to what I stated before, no.
You understand and agree with the staff's report?
I do, yes.
All right. Do the board members have questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that supports the application being heard? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that opposes the application being heard? With no further discussion, I would call for a motion to approve or deny the final plat of Babb Acres with the conditions set out in Exhibit A attached.
I'll make the motion and approve with conditions.
Very well, do you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote.
Chris Higgins,
Approve with conditions.
Marvin Davis,
Approve with conditions.
Terry Griffin,
Approve with conditions.
David Rotis,
Approve with conditions.
Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve with conditions.
Motion carries.
All right, the fifth case that we will hear this evening is case number May 22-128RZ/P. And could we have staff report, please?
Yes, Chairman, would like to add the staff report as part of the official record.
So be it.
So this is Eagle View, so this one will probably look familiar. So this came in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission this year, was approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission and County Commission. However, they needed to receive a variance to allow septic systems on less than 5 acres. They did not receive that variance. So the previous submittal was for 10 lots ranging in size from 3.5 to 7.5 acres. The current submittal is for 8 lots, so 2 less lots, and the lots all meet that 5-acre minimum for a septic, and they range from 5 acres to, there's one that's just slightly over 10 acres. So currently the property is unplatted, it's zoned RU80, and there's currently one single-family home on the property. The proposed subdivision, like I stated, is for 8 lots. Everything would be zoned R5 because that's our standard for lots that are between 5 and 10 acres. Now, we decided not to zone that 10-acre lot R1 just to keep everything uniform. The cul-de-sac would be extended from Bedford Downs to serve 4 of the lots, and then the other 4 lots, 3 of the lots would have access off of 124th. There's also the possibility of a shared driveway off of A Highway. There's 12.08 acres reserved in a preservation easement, and there is a blue line stream on the north side of the property that'll have the stream setback. This is located in the urban services tier. It's within a mile of the city of Kansas City. KCMO stated that they have no objection to this proposed subdivision. And again, the intent of this tier is to promote urban development compatible with cities. And actually, this tier calls for much higher density in certain cases than what we're proposing here. Surrounding area, you can see there are some large lots in the area, and there's multiple subdivisions that were done in the 70s, 80s, 90s that are, those lots are anywhere from 2 acres to 5-ish that are all on septic systems. There are not any enclosed or private sewers in this area. It's the same rezoning and preliminary plat criteria that staff believe have been either addressed or met. Again, we published this case in the Courier Tribune. We sent 34 letters, posted the sign, and this one's a little bit different because it's going through the major subdivision process because there is infrastructure. So the first step is the rezoning preliminary plat. If approved, then they could submit their construction plans, and 60 days after submitting their construction plans, they can submit their final plat, which would set off another set of public meetings. And when that final plat's approved, that's when the infrastructure can be installed. And after that infrastructure is approved, that's when the plat can be recorded. And after the plat is recorded, that's when the lots can be sold and building permits be issued. So there's quite a few steps with a subdivision like this. Outside agency approval. This is a unique case too because we just heard it this year. So we did not formally have the applicant go to each of these agencies. However, staff reached out to all these agencies to make sure Their previous approvals were still good. We felt that was appropriate since we were reducing it by 2 lots, and all these agencies responded that they had no issues. Infrastructure that's required, we're in the R5 zoning district, so it would be asphalt curb and gutter hooked onto the public water supply district. Hydrants, fire hydrants would be required, and septic is allowed on 5+ acre lots, and sidewalks would be exempted because of the lot sizes. We also did a density chart. With the new plan of Eagle View, it's actually larger than the other subdivisions in the area, but these are just the platted subdivisions with interior streets. There are obviously still some large lots in this area. Planning and zoning staff is recommending approval with 17 conditions. I don't have all those conditions here, and I don't think you want me to read all those conditions. A couple of the highlights are here, which are that all those outside agencies are going to have to approve everything 1 or 2 more times. We're going to require a third-party inspector that's charged to the developer that will be on site during the infrastructure phase of this project. And then, if you remember last time, we had some opposition from a neighbor to the west, and the applicant and the neighbor to the west agreed to this third condition, which is a berm or swale that will help the drainage in that area. So we added that condition to make sure it would be completed. And then we added a condition that, actually this condition was part of the original plan as well, but that the HOA will be responsible for any stormwater infrastructure. So staff is happy to answer any questions you may have, and the applicant and his representative is present as well.
All right, thank you, Kip. Do any of the board members have questions for staff regarding the case being heard? Would the applicant or the applicant's representative please step up to the podium?
Good evening, Steve Warder, 6127 Northwest Pine Ridge Circle, Parkville, Missouri. Kip did a pretty good job of covering everything we had. As he highlighted, we did go to BZA. After going to you all, we got denied on those smaller lots, and so that's why we came back with 5 acre lots. He pointed out that we did meet with that property owner to the west. We did meet with him out in the field and worked out the berm or swale to be able to keep the water from coming onto his property as much as possible, and maintaining also that preservation easement, which he wanted to maintain the trees, and we do also. With that, we're in agreement with all the conditions. Be happy to answer any questions.
All right, very good. Do any board members have questions for Mr. Warder?
Yeah, what kind of stormwater infrastructure will you have on this development? I mean, is there much, or just besides?
There's not much. What we're doing, coming off one of the cul-de-sacs, or coming off the cul-de-sac, and it'd be the lot that would be on the south between those first 2 lots. There's a swale that comes off that carries water down a ditch to the drainage area. And we also added, even though it's not really required from our storm drainage study, we are putting berms along right at the tree line on the bottom side, just to try and catch the water a little bit. We'll have a couple of openings, but at least the sheet flow, with what little increase, if there is, we're actually calculating there is no increase in water, but we're trying to do something to help preserve just a sheet flow that somebody might anticipate is from the houses. So we're putting those berms along the back to try and protect that and slow the water down.
And I would like to add, obviously if this is approved, then those construction plans will be reviewed. We'll have the on-call engineer, so that could change. We could come back with a different plan, but everything that their initial stormwater plan indicated is that there's not going to be a whole lot of extra runoff.
Okay.
Does anyone else have questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that supports the application being heard? None said. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment that opposes the application being heard? With no further discussion, I would call for a motion to approve or deny the rezoning of Eagle View
I'll move to approve.
Could we have a second? Second. Okay, a roll call vote.
Marvin Davis.
Approve.
David Rotis. Terry Griffin.
Approve.
Chris Higgins.
Approved.
And Chairman Tom Decker.
Approved.
Motion carries.
I'd like to roll right into a motion to either approve or deny the preliminary plat of Eagle View with 17 conditions in Exhibit A attached to the motion.
I'll move to approve with conditions.
Very well, do we have a second? Second. Very well, do we have a roll call vote?
Marvin Davis.
Approve with conditions.
David Rotis.
Approve with conditions.
Terry Griffin.
Approve with conditions.
Chris Higgins.
Approved with conditions.
And Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve with conditions.
Motion carries.
All right. Very good. The next case we'll hear this evening is case number May 22-129 RZ/P. And could we have a staff's report, please?
Yes, Chairman, would like to add the staff report as part of the official record.
So be it.
And just bear with me while I get the next one pulled up here. So this is Estates at Tillman Farms. So currently it's unplatted. It's zoned agricultural. The entire property is approximately 113 acres. Roughly 68, 69 acres are included in the plat. There is floodplain on the property. There are blue line streams, 2 of them, and it's adjacent to the city of Smithville. So here's a picture of the plat. So the proposed subdivision is 6 lots. Lots 1 through 5, which are the 4 lots on the east side and the 1 north-south lot that would come off of 92 Highway. So this is on Tillman to the east and 92 Highway to the north. So the 4 lots on the east are roughly 7 acres, just a hair bigger. The north-south lot, the smaller lot coming off 92 Highway in the middle, is just under 10 acres. And then the far west lot is a 30-acre lot. So the lots 1 through 5, which are the smaller lots, would be rezoned to R5. That's our current standard. Again, for lots between 5 and less than 10 acres, it would allow 1 house per parcel, 1 accessory dwelling unit per parcel, and then the 30 acres would stay zoned agricultural. Again, it would be allowed 1 house and 1 accessory dwelling unit. Each lot would be served by a septic system. 2 lots, the 30-acre lot and the almost 10-acre lot, would have access off of 92 Highway. The other 4 lots would have access off of Tillman Road. This is located in the urban services tier. It's within a mile of the city of Smithville. We're going to talk about the city of Smithville a little bit. They granted an exemption to the 10-acre minimum. So the urban services tier for the county says we should do 10-plus acre lots. Now, one of the exemptions to that is if the city will grant an exemption. And the city sent a pretty detailed email that was included in the staff report that dictated that they thought the lot sizes were good. Basically, they said it was a perfect match for the area, is what the city of Smithville said. Again, the intent of this tier is to promote urban development compatible with cities. Here's the surrounding area. So you can see the proposed subdivision outlined in yellow, 92 Highway to the north. Anything in that peach color is city of Smithville. Anything that's not peach is unincorporated. So the lot to the north, most of the lots to the south are unincorporated, are city of Smithville. So it's kind of a unique area. And
It's not really color coded up there, I don't know.
So let me point. So anything this color is city of Smithville. See the difference, like with this lot?
Yeah.
This is unincorporated.
Okay.
So sometimes they'll be completely surrounded by city of Smithville. City of Smithville tends to do only voluntary annexations. So we actually have like interior streeted subdivisions with 1 lot that are unincorporated, and the rest of them are city of Smithville. So it's a little bit different than Kearney. But you can see these are all City of Smithville. Now, this one, little one here is unincorporated. And then all this is City of Smithville up here. So it is unique. And City of Smithville, obviously MoDOT takes care of 92 Highway. City of Smithville does the maintenance on Tillman Road. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. So this has the same rezoning and preliminary plat criteria. Staff believes those have been addressed and or met. This case was also published in the Courier Tribune, sent a total of 24 letters for this case, posted a sign, and this is following our normal process of Planning and Zoning Commission, County Commission, then recording of the plat. Outside agency approval, MoDOT approved access for 2 lots on 92. The Water District says they have the ability to serve the lots. There will be a main extension for lots 5 and 6, and you'll see one of the conditions addresses that water main extension. No comments from Smithville Fire District. They were sent a case review. And then, as I stated earlier, City of Smithville gave a detailed email on that exemption on the smaller than the 10-acre lots. And we can talk about this a little more in detail. City of Smithville also requested additional right-of-way for a future connection of Liberty and Deer Run streets, and I can show you those on our other aerial image if you want to look at those. The Public Health Center has given preliminary and final approval for septic systems for each lot. They did include comments that stated that standard systems may not be sufficient, that advanced systems may be required, but that they could get a septic system for each lot. Staff is recommending approval with 3 conditions, which includes the addition of that 60 feet of right-of-way, adding the 75-foot stream setback from the center line of the stream each direction, a recreational easement along 92 Highway, complying with the fire district codes, and that approval from Water District 9 in relation to that water main extension. I'm going to close out of this, and then I'll go to my map, and I'll show you that right-of-way that they're wanting, but it'll just take a minute if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions while this loads, and the applicant is present as well.
So we're waiting for your,
Well, if you have
Map
questions,
to
I can
appear.
I can answer questions while it loads, but
okay, does any board members have questions for staff? I would like to see the Liberty Drive, I think, to the north and Deer Run to the south, and how it lines up with the east property line of Lot 6, or the 30-acre lot.
and here's Liberty Drive right here. And here's where they're requesting the right-of-way, and here's Deer Run right here. So their road plan calls for this connection to happen at some point. Now, whether that ever will happen or not, there you see it's finally labeled Liberty Street, Deer Run, and they want to make the connection through that 30-acre lot.
So one of the conditions that you've added is the 60-foot right-of-way on the east side of Lot 6 that's been requested by the City of Smithville for a potential future connecting street or road.
Correct. It's not going in as part of this, but it sets that aside as right-of-way if it's ever needed to be connected.
So for that to ever happen, the property would have to be annexed into the city limits of Smithville, and then Smithville would build the road or street, whatever.
Or if somebody buys that 30 acres and develops it. But yeah, I would, one way or the other.
Okay,
And there you can see it just a little bit better that
yeah,
there's Liberty Street, there's Deer Run.
yeah.
I think they already have the right-of-way in this area.
All right, thank you, Kip. Do any board members have any other questions for staff? applicants present, would you step up to the podium and state your name and address, please?
Eric Craig, 1220 Bainbridge Road, Smithville, Missouri.
Mr. Craig, do you have anything that you'd like to add that supports your application?
I'm just here to answer any questions that you guys may have, or if anybody in the public has comments.
Okay.
I will tell you though that Lot 6 that we were just talking about, that the city has the right of way that they requested there. We do have a prospective buyer on that lot that's going to just build a single family residence and an outbuilding, so there's no plans to develop that parcel there.
All right.
Okay?
All right, very well. Yep. Do any of the board members have questions for the applicant? None said. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment that supports the application being heard? Very well. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment that opposes the application being heard? Yes, sir. State your name and address, please.
Jared Gentry, 1229 Liberty Street. I guess our question is, the access off Liberty Street's already pretty congested anyways, so where Lot 6 and Lot 5 would be access points along with the disturbance of the creek, how you would lot those houses through 3, 2, and 4?
I'm sorry, could you repeat your question, please?
They're two separate questions. The first one was how the access points are going into 6 and 5.
I think lots 6 and 5s are accessible off of 92 Highway.
I mean, is that at Liberty Street though? I mean, that's what I'm asking, where they're gonna be.
That'd be
Because
determined
that's
by...
floodplain, down there on 6, you're all floodplain, so I didn't know how,
They would have to have approval from the highway department where they can put their driveways.
where they can, and I think the only spot would be Liberty Street.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the highway.
No, I know, that's
Yeah.
fine.
That'd be a site distance issue that
Well,
MoDOT would access.
And then,
Mr. Craig may be able to answer that after you're done, so we'll let
that's
him.
fine. And then we were also wondering how, you get septics and everything in on those lots where the creek's gonna be right in the middle of them? Cause that runs over on our properties.
Well, I think the septics would have to be put in compliance with the Clay County Health Department, and they'd be, Kip, if you want to comment in detail on that subject.
Yeah, so with any case, if a lot is less than 20 acres, the applicant's required to do a morphology test for each lot. That is reviewed by the permitting authority, which in this case is the Clay County Public Health Center. So they have determined by giving us their preliminary and final approval that a septic and a backup location for a septic can be placed on each of these lots. So my code, or the county's code, would require, or would allow a septic system to be in floodplain if it doesn't allow the effluent to get into the floodwaters. Now, I don't expect that to be the case because they're not going to put a septic system in the floodplain. But the Public Health Center has determined that there's 2 locations, at the very least, for septic systems to go on each of these lots.
Okay. That's all I had.
All right, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to comment that opposes the application being heard?
Michael Summers, 1220 Liberty Street, directly north of that, which is all agriculture. And neighbor Jared is all agriculture. And I really don't think it's a good idea to put houses that close to agriculture. It's not uncommon to spend my whole winter having corn stalks, leaves in my yard when you combine, dust and dirt. And I don't know why that is not in the city limits, correct?
Correct.
Why are you consulting with Smithville on the lot size?
I would be happy to answer that one, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So that's what our comprehensive plan calls for. So the county adopted a comprehensive plan in 2008. The citizens put input on, county commissioners, planning and zoning commission, and one of the criteria is that with any property that's outside city limits, that's within 1.5 miles of a city limit, we have to reach out for comments from them. In fact, if it's within 1 mile, that city can grant exemptions to the county's lot sizes. And the reason for that is we don't want to do something that's going to inhibit the city from annexing that in the future if they choose to. So we try to work hand in hand with the cities so they don't annex around. Like you see some of these lots that are annexed around, we want to make sure that there's proper development throughout Clay County, and part of doing that is making sure we're not doing something that the city would object to.
Yeah, because I don't like the right-of-way for Liberty Road there. That's a terrible intersection anyway, because Liberty Road hits 92 at an angle. You can't already see one direction. You can't see to your right when you pull up there. 92 like this and Liberty like that. And then you got to worry about people coming out of there too. It's just a bad intersection to start with. I don't believe the city should have a right-of-way.
Kip, can you identify the lot sizes to the subdivision directly to the south of Lot 1 and Lot 5?
Yes, I can. I just zoomed in on that.
That's Liberty Street there you're looking
yeah.
at to the north.
Yes, I apologize. I zoomed in on that intersection. Let me zoom back out. And you want the ones just to the south?
Yeah. I think lots 1 through 4, they're all a little over 7 acres. Lot 5's nearly 10 acres.
3.01, 3.01, and 3.02.
Yeah, they're all right in that 3-acre.
Yeah.
3-acre range. These across the street, that one's a 4.5-acre lot, 4-acre lot. You got a 13-acre lot, 7.8. So that's why, I think that's why City of Smithville said they felt this matched and fit perfectly with the surrounding area.
The majority of Lot 6, not all of it, majority of it is all in the floodplain.
And I've got the floodplain pulled up, so
Yeah,
the black dotted area is a 500-year. We don't regulate in that. So what we consider floodplain is this blue line this way. So everything, this is floodway right here. This is all floodplain, but this section of the lot is not floodplain. And you see there's a little finger of floodplain that runs through those other lots around that stream, but it's not a whole lot.
I am concerned about the sewer running off in that creek that runs right over into my property, then dumps into Wilkerson Creek, which is a big watershed.
Yeah, I think that was addressed in the previous discussion.
I know. I just really don't want to see houses there and all anymore when it's around so much agriculture.
Well, the applicant is complying with the land development code, is complying with the comprehensive plan, and has addressed all the essential services.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I just don't really think it's a good idea.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to oppose the application being heard? Would the applicant like to step back up and rebuttal or comment on the previous discussions? State your name and address, please.
Eric Craig, 1220 Bainbridge Road. In regards to driveway access off of lots 6 and 5, there are already access points that were given to those 2 lots already that were verified by MoDOT, and we went through that process again. But they're already established access points have been used as
So there's
right-of-way
existing
access.
driveways there
Correct.
now?
Yes, sir.
That services both
Yes, sir.
lots? All right.
Yes, sir.
Very well.
Yeah.
Do any board members have questions for the applicant?
Is that right there at Liberty Street, Eric? Or
It's
just to the,
yeah, because the city does plan on, based off what they're telling us, they do plan on continuing that road, that right of way that we're given. That's a 60-foot. That is in their plans. It's just right. Actually, it's just slightly off of Liberty. There's a there's a fireworks stand that's there every year and has been for, I don't know. I've been there since 1998, so that's for the access point for that.
And then there is an existing driveway off of
Yes,
92 for
yes,
lot
MoDOT
5.
did verify that
Yeah.
with us, yes.
Okay, for both lot
For
5?
both lots 5
Yeah.
and 6.
All right. Very
Yeah,
well.
they were already existing, but we went ahead and went through the approval again with them and
All
got
right.
that from them.
I have one other question. Is
Sure.
Smithfield actually planning to annex that property anytime soon?
I mean,
To your
you know,
knowledge?
to kind of answer Mr. Summers, you know, we could have annexed this into the city of Smithville. And I don't know if it'll make you feel better or not, sir, but the city of Smithville has acreage requirements as small as 3 acres. We could have put more parcels on here, but it just didn't lay out right. And so our plan and intention is to keep it in the county. The individual that right now is interested in lot 6 is gonna build a single-family home with a barn. I doubt he's ever gonna annex that in. Other than that, I couldn't really tell you, but
Okay, that's fine. I was just
I would
curious if
just,
there were any.
with the road going through there, I don't see that individual probably annexing in. That doesn't mean that Smithville couldn't do something there.
All right. All right, is there any other questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, Mr. Craig.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll open up the floor one more time to opposition.
Michael Summers, Smithville, Missouri. Did I hear you mention a recreation set aside along 92?
There is the Northland Vision Trails Plan calls for a recreational easement along 92 Highway. Now, whether a trail would ever be put in there, I would hope not along 92 Highway because it's not the safest. But we are putting the easement on the plat in case that would ever come to fruition.
There has been issues from the city before wanting to bring a trail all the way from the high school down, across Jared Land, right through the middle of my property, and I will fight that tooth and nail.
And they probably have a different plan than the county has.
Okay. But I don't think a recreation trail right along 92 is a good idea.
I would tend to agree.
All right, well, is there any further discussion with the board members? Does the applicant want to rebuttal Mr. Summers' last comment? Very well. Then I would call for a motion to either approve or deny the rezoning of the estates of Tillman Farms.
I'll move to approve.
Very well, do you have a second?
I'll second.
Very well, do you have a roll call vote?
Marvin Davis,
Approve?
Chris Higgins,
Approved.
Terry Griffin,
Approved.
David Rotis. Chairman Tom Decker.
Approved.
Motion carries.
I think we can go right into the call for a motion to either approve or deny the preliminary plat of the estates at Tillman Farms with the conditions set out in Exhibit A attached to the motion.
I'll move to approve with conditions.
Very well, do you have a second?
I'll second.
Do you have a roll call vote?
Marvin Davis,
Approve with conditions.
Chris Higgins,
Approved with conditions.
Terry Griffin,
Approved with conditions.
David Rotis.
Approve conditions.
Chairman Tom Decker.
Approved with conditions.
Motion carries.
The case number 7 we'll hear tonight is the case number May 22-130F. And could we have a staff report, please?
Chairman, I would like to add the staff report to the official record.
So be it.
So this is the final plat for estates at Tillman Farms. We believe that the final plat is compliant with the approved preliminary plat. We believe this request also meets the section in the Land Development Code of 151-3.6D. We also recommend approval on this with the conditions under Exhibit A that deal with the recording copies of the final plat. And the applicant is present, and staff would also be willing to answer any questions from the commissioners.
All right, thank you, Shane. Do any of the board members have questions for staff regarding the case being heard? With no discussion, would the applicant please step up to this podium, state your name and address?
Eric Craig, 1220 Bainbridge Road, Smithville.
All right. Mr. Craig, do you have anything to add that would support your application?
No, sir. Just here to answer questions, if any.
Okay. You understand and agree with the staff's report?
Yes, sir.
All right. Very well, thank you, sir. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment that supports the application being heard? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment that opposes the application being heard? Is there any further discussion from any of the board members? I do think the proposed subdivision or applicant is in compliance with the land development code and with the comprehensive plan, and has addressed all the essential services. And call for a motion to either approve or deny the final plat of estates at Tillman Farms with the conditions set out in Exhibit A attached to the motion.
Move to approve with condition.
Very well. Do we have a second?
Second.
Could I have a roll call vote?
Marvin Davis.
Approve with condition.
Chris Higgins.
Approve with conditions.
Terry Griffin.
Approve with conditions.
David Rotis.
Approve with conditions.
Chairman Tom Decker.
Approve with conditions.
Motion carries.
Very well. Is there any other business before the board this evening, Mr. Jones?
I just have a couple comments. Wanted to update the commission. Last month's meeting, which included Eastern Estates and the zoning map, those were approved by the county commission. I also do want to announce that this is Mr. Higgins' last meeting with us. So I wanted to thank him for his service. I think he's been an asset to the board. I'm sure we will see Mr. Higgins again. And maybe we can give him a hard time when we do see him again.
He's a quitter.
But just wanted on the record that we appreciate your service.
It's been an honor, Kip. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
You will be duly missed. We'll keep the light on for you.
Okay.
And that's all I have, Chairman.
Would you like to share an update on the J&K animal? Miss Jennifer Castleman, I believe.
I would love to, and I think we could do that after you adjourn.
Very well. With no other business to discuss, I would adjourn the meeting. Motion carries.